Whew.
What's up, my friend?
Dude, can you believe it? We just witnessed history last weekend.
I called Pastor John and asked him if hell froze over. Man.
Oh my gosh. What's up, guys? This is Brian.
Jesse.
You're watching MMA the hard way
in the car.
Wow.
Oh.
UFC 162. We got Speed Racer driving through the parking lot there. UFC 162, Silva, after 14-0 in the UFC, decides to play cocky and gets knocked out.
I mean, you know what? There's certain things in MMA that you remember when things happen, like when Fedor got submitted.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when Vanderlei first got knocked out and lost his belt in Pride. And this.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, it was significant.
It was.
It's, you know what, for me, it's kind of bittersweet. I mean, it's like, not bittersweet, but surreal. I mean,
yeah.
You wouldn't expect the great Anderson Silva to go down that way, you know?
No.
You'd either think he'd go out fighting or he would just, you know, maybe end up like losing a decision and that was the beginning of the end or something. I don't know.
This is one of those rare moments in MMA where if a loss or a win changes the whole thing overnight.
Yeah.
I mean, all the forums were going crazy, all the websites were going crazy, everything was going crazy at MMA. I mean, it's just, this changed the whole landscape in the 185.
So that leads to our subject for today. We're going to break down the UFC Middleweight division. And when I say that, just the top 10.
Yeah.
And obviously, we know Chris Weidman's now considered the #1 middleweight in the world. And, well, so earned, you know. I mean, the guy's 10-0. I mean, it's I think probably the first ever undefeated champion.
Yeah.
Is at least in the middleweight division, you know. Silva, obviously, we'll find out
soon.
Probably in the next
maybe
few weeks what his next step is. But for now, we just basically have to consider him not a candidate for a fight.
So,
but I mean, you know, ranked #3, Vitor Belfort.
That's, you know, I'm thinking that, and maybe you agree with me or not, if Anderson Silva doesn't take the rematch, the only viable candidate is Vitor or an eliminator fight between Vitor and Mark Munoz.
Yeah, because Vitor is coming off that highlight knockout of Luke Rockhold with that wheel kick. I mean, dang, I mean, that heel kick, spinning heel kick. And obviously, Vitor's a name. Vitor can sell a pay-per-view, no problem. Plenty of highlight reels. He's earned a shot. I mean, he's a legitimate candidate.
He's finished all his fights so far.
Yeah, and he's, you know, he's on a tear. I mean, he's just having a second coming.
And you know what? He's not gonna. He's gonna bring it. He's not gonna. No disrespect towards Anderson. He's not gonna showboat. He's gonna just try and go for the kill.
And I have to say, I think it makes sense that if it was between him and Munoz doesn't deserve an immediate shot the way Vitor deserves a shot because of the devastating fashion in which Weidman beat him. He is definitely going to have one more fight before. I don't see why anyone would disagree with that. So next in line we have Okami and Jacare. Yeah. And they're actually scheduled to fight September 4th. So hey, they're locked up, you know. There's nothing we could really do about that, and that'll be an interesting matchup when it happens. Ranked at #5 is Hector Lombard. However, as we know,
dropping down to 170.
Yeah, he's leaving the division. He's gonna get rid of a little bit of that upper muscle mass, increase his cardio. Can you imagine if Hector Lombard got the Mark Munoz body treatment?
Oh man!
Oh my gosh!
He'd be a beast.
If he was a lean, mean fight machine with his power, you don't lose that kind of power just because you lose muscle. You know?
No, he'd be.
His speed would be just like, he would be like Demetrius Johnson with like you know, Dos Santos power or something. I mean,
he's gonna be if he comes to the 170, really, you know, the way he's supposed to come in, the way he's envisioning it, he's gonna be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah. And then, of course, you have Luke Rockhold coming in at, Mark, as we talked about, Mark Munoz.
Yeah.
Just fought. Didn't really take any damage, though.
No.
So we could see something's going to happen with Mark. I think that they're going to... historically, they've never let Mark go very long after a win.
He's an exciting fighter. He's an exciting fighter. He's a company guy, too.
Yep. And with them moving into new markets, I could see them maybe, wanting to pull something off. Yeah. Then we've got Luke Rockhold. Obviously, he's
tied up
been
already.
hanging out since May because he got knocked out by Vitor, but doesn't have a fight. Has had an impressive record up till then. So he's still, like I said, he's great. Now we have the guys that are
kind of hanging out.
Yeah, you got Michael Bisping and Costa Philippou.
Yeah.
And it's like, I wonder what's going to happen with these guys. I mean, you think about them, they don't really have significant losses. I mean, nothing to where you sit there and you go,
exactly.
Their fights should be announced. I mean, they definitely both have deserved. I can't see any reason why they wouldn't fight a top 10 guy. Either one of them, really. I don't know if we have any more Strikeforce middleweights that haven't debuted yet.
At least the ones that were, no disrespect, were relevant. They've already fought, or they're about to fight. So I mean, you basically towards the bottom. I mean, you some other names pop up, but they're either injured or they're just not. They're not up there where they deserve that title shot. So, as we say, pretty much all fingers point towards Vitor.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. And this is only if Anderson Silva doesn't take the rematch.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that I'm hoping that he wants to get that belt back and maybe bring back the fierce, scary Anderson Silva, the one that
he's a little. It sounded like he was really tired of being champ. It's kind of weird, when you think about it.
It's kind of weird, but I think I don't know. Something tells me that I don't want to say it's loser talk because he's not a loser. He just lost the fight, but surprisingly, the one that wants the rematch more than anyone else is Weidman. He wants the fight because now it's coming across. A lot of people are telling him, yes, you beat Anderson Silva, but look how Anderson Silva was acting. So he wants to now legitimize the win. He wants to finish Anderson Silva again, but this time without the showboating.
Yeah. That would be, in a perfect world, that fight would happen, and we would all see who, but now, wild card, Rashad.
Yeah.
If he drops down to middleweight,
And there's also talk that the Dragon might come down to 185 too, because that's what stopped him. Because his best friend, almost a brother, Anderson Silva, was the king, and he didn't want to fight the king.
That would be a fight.
That would be a great fight. Could you imagine Machida with his karate stance versus a very strong wrestler striker?
I mean,
as in
Anderson was lighting up. He was. Before he started, when he was actually engaging, he was kind of lighting him up.
Yeah.
That's all we got, though. That's all the time we got.
We could talk forever.
Wanted to do a breakdown there. So, thanks a lot. Subscribe.
Keep the Twitter feeds coming.
Yep. Share this with your friends. And please comment on this episode. We want to know what you hear about it.
Feedback is welcome.
Thanks a lot, guys. See you next time.
Take care, guys.